1971, Dhaka was a scene of series of massacres. Violence and genocide had driven an estimated 10 million refugees to India.
India was playing a massive role in this struggle and began to provide political, diplomatic and moral support to the Mukti Bahini, the guerrilla force, to start its covert operations against the Pakistanis.
Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of our country, told the charismatic General Sam Manekshaw to prepare for war. She wrote letters to the world leaders, appraising them of the situation in East Pakistan. She tried to rouse the world conscience and pressurize Pakistan to stop its brutalities in the East. Despite all odds, the preparation for battle continued at a breakneck speed because war had become unavoidable.
One of the shortest wars in Indian history, soon Blitz gets its way with a strategy of speed, ferocity and flexibility. The war that took just 13 days for a majestic Indian Defence Forces to create a landmark in the history of warfare.
India formally engaged in war when on 3rd of December 1971, Pakistani Air Force had launched the preemptive airstrikes on 11 forward Indian Air Force bases. Despite the several clumsy attempts of the Pakistani Air Force, not a single Indian aircraft was lost on the ground. And as they say, जिद पर अड़ जाए तो मोड़ दे रुख तूफानों का, तुमने तेवर ही कहाँ देखे तिरंगों के दीवानों का. IF soon retaliated ferociously, and within a span of just 48 hours, IF gained the air supremacy.
Our Indian soldiers not only excelled here, but also in the Battle of Longewala, where only a single company of 23 Punjab Regiment was deployed under the command of Major Chandpuri. The gallant men fought with immense valor and bravery and were soon reinforced by the hunters of Indian Air Force, flying in pairs from Jaisalmer and joined the war.
By the midday of 5th of December 1971, our valiant men excelled with bravery and won an exceptional victory. Battle of Longewala was all but over. हिम्मत से तूफान भी घबराते हैं, कोशिशों से अक्सर पत्थर भी पिघल जाते हैं. जो रोज नई आंधियों से टकराते हैं, वो ही जग में विजय सुयश पाते हैं.
PNS Ghazi, one of the most advanced submarine in Pakistan Navy, was steadily laying mine at the entrance of Visakhapatnam. At the late evening of 3rd December, picking up a propeller noise by 2 Indian patrol boats, Ghazi fled to the sea. In the haste to complete the task, she probably went over the mines she had earlier led herself. Ghazi became the first stable casualty of war, without even a shot being fired at her.
हम वतन के नौजवान हैं, हमसे जो टकराएगा वो हमारी ठोकरों से खाक में मिल जाएगा. Unlike all the previous wars since independence, this one in 1971 saw naval guns boom in anger on both sides of the subcontinent. And Indian Navy came out very decisively. The plan to strike the Karachi port was plotted well in advance. INS Nipat, Nirghat and Veer were the 3 missile boats launched on the Indian Navy's most daring assault, Operation Trident. The mighty powers of the majestic Nipat, Nirghat and Veer had set the Karachi port ablaze. Radio silenced to transmit just one word, Ankar, that signaled our victory. Operation Trident successful. To commemorate this operation, December 4th is henceforth celebrated as Navy Day. This was the first time when India's all 3 forces fought in unison. दिल में हौसलों का तेज तूफान लिए फिरते हैं, आसमां से ऊंची हम अपनी उड़ान लिए फिरते हैं. वक्त क्या आजमाएगा हमारे जोश और जुनून को, हम तो हथेली पर अपनी जान लिए फिरते हैं.
The guns finally fell silent on 16 December 1971 when Lieutenant General A.K. Niazi signed the instrument of surrender. Nearly 93,000 Pakistani troops were surrendered and were taken as prisoners of war by India. This is one of the biggest military surrender after the World War II. Indian Army brought Pakistan to its knees.
जीत के लिए बस जुनून चाहिए, जिसमें उबाल हो ऐसा खून चाहिए। ये आसमां भी आएगा जमी पर, बस इरादों में जीत की कूंज चाहिए।
In a one swift war, India achieved its biggest military and diplomatic victory ever. Pakistan stood dismembered and humiliated. India became the savior of oppressed Bengalis and gave 75 million people their independence. With the instrument of surrender, Bangladesh became a reality.
On this occasion, we as a nation should forever remember with great pride and gratitude the ultimate sacrifice made by 4,000 Indian soldiers who laid down their lives for the nation, and 10,000 more who went home wounded.
Here I would like to special mention about the 5 heroes whose unforgettable contribution lead to this decisive win. Rameshwar Nath Kao, whose team called as Cowboy. He is also known as the architect of Bangladesh. Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, who was the chief of Indian Army at the time and played a crucial role in delivering India its victory. Brigadier Kuldeep Singh Chanpuri, who was a major during 1971 war. His brave leadership won us the Battle of Longewala. Major General Ian Corsoto, who cut his own leg with kukri after the mine injury. Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Shikon fearlessly engaged enemy fighter plane and shot them eventually. His plane crashed and Daredevil sacrifices his life. He is the only Air Force officer to be honored with Param Veer Chakra.
To commemorate this victory, December 16th is henceforth celebrated as Vijay Divas. Victory flame was lit by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 16th of December 2020 from the eternal flame at the National War Memorial, New Delhi, marking the celebration of Golden Jubilee of 1971 Indo-Pak War this year, which marks a homage to all the martyrs who laid down their lives for the nation. At the end, I like to quote it by saying, शत्रु से कह दो सीमा में रहना सीख ले, भारत है ये मेरा अमर, तू सत्य कहना सीख ले, सिलसिला मेरे बाद भी यूं ही चलना चाहिए, मैं रहूं या ना रहूं, भारत ये रहना चाहिए, भारत ये रहना चाहिए. With this we conclude our speech. Thank you.
Jai Hind.